What's up, everyone? I'm Anthony Mauro.
And I'm Harley Salbacka, and today we are thrilled to have our Mighty Morphin Power Rangers scribe, Melissa Flores, and Power Rangers Hyperforce cast member, co-writer, streamer, and internet personality, Meghan Camarena, aka Strawberry17.
Wow, I'm just gonna bring you everywhere with me. That was great.
Though I will make one clarification. It's strawberry.
Excuse me.
I got that lesson. Yeah.
Strawberry was taken. It's my first AOL screen name. So
let's just jump into it. What was your relationship with Power Rangers prior to writing Power Rangers?
For me, I worked on Power Rangers as a development executive for about 10 years before I started writing Power Rangers. So that's actually how I got to know all the lovely people at Boom Studios. When they came on board with the licensing deal for Power Rangers, I was one of the development executives that they, poor them, had to coach through the process of licensed comic books. And I thank them so effusively for being so patient with us, because we definitely needed the boot camp, because we had no idea. We had Kyle Higgins at the time and Daphne and they were all fantastic and amazing and so patient with us. And it was through them that I got to learn how I had already liked comic books, but I really fell in love with the process of comic books. And so I was on that run for, until my time with Power Rangers came to an end. There was about, I think maybe 2 years where I wasn't involved with the books, but the majority of the run, I was intimately aware of all of it. And so it was very, I don't want to say easy, but I was very excited to come back. It was kind of like coming back and seeing my children and actually being able to write it all over again and actually be a bigger part of the creative process. It was a lot of fun.
Well, my more phenomenal beginning starts in second grade, where I almost got expelled from elementary school for playing Power Rangers during recess. It was too violent. I always thought about auditioning, but the time had passed. I was a little too old and kind of given up on that dream. And then my friend, I think Yoshi, reached out to me and he was like, hey, there's this Power Ranger experience. It's like an RPG. You don't have to go to New Zealand. And it's canon. So would you be down? I'm like, I've never done RPGs before. I'm down to try. And they originally told me I'd be yellow, and I was like, sick.
We did not tell you you'd be yellow. I don't know who told you that.
He told me. Because they know this. I have feelings towards pink, because I've grown up in a Hispanic household with 4 boys, and that color has always meant something different. Oh, you're a girl. I think my dad was so afraid of me just becoming this monster, that he was because my mom was pretty sick most of my life. So my dad was just trying to make sure I knew what it was to be a woman, and who knows what that is.
Sure.
Yeah. So stereotypes for this Latin man who's pink. You gotta like pink. Mija, don't skateboard. You're gonna mess up your knees. They're gonna look so messed up when you wear a dress. And I'm like, I'm never wearing a dress. But yeah, this was my opportunity, and I showed up, and obviously realized I was pink. But I got to be Phoenix and kind of really developed a new relationship with that color through becoming a Hyperforce Ranger. And now it's something I've owned and reclaimed myself. But so I'm also in Battle for the Grid. I voiced Kimberly Hart in the video game, and have had the lovely opportunity of knowing Melissa since the beginning of the Hyperforce days. Little me, throwing roundhouses on the playground, would never have believed in a million years that I'd get to become a Power Ranger, let alone write a comic in that universe in such a unique way. So that's my background.
Oh, I love all of that. Melissa, what were you excited to explore when you started your Mighty Morphin Power Rangers run?
What I really wanted to do when I came on board was honor everything that came before me, and kind of kind of an homage kind of way. I knew we were going into an anniversary season, so I really wanted to play up a lot of the themes that we had seen before in the comic books. You know, the best kind of stories, you know, or you take everything you have before and it becomes a launching pad for something else, right? And that's what I really wanted to do. And so for me, I had my own story in mind, but I had all these little things in the back of my head that were little threads that I wanted to weave in there that like I have always personally wanted a little more of. Like I'm so thankful that I have the relationships that I do with the previous writers that I can talk to them about these kind of stories, and it makes it feel much more cohesive, I think, because, you know, I'm on the 100%. Masterverse with Ryan, with Matt, with Kyle, because it doesn't feel disconnected. It just feels like the start of a new chapter.
Totally.
It's just like one big happy Power Rangers family.
Yes.
And I really dig that so much. And then Megan, what excited you about getting to come back to the Hyperforce world?
What doesn't excite me about that thing? You know, had to kind of like make my peace with where my character ended and where the story would leave off, but had that glimmer of hope in my heart that maybe one day we would be able to tell the story the way that we wanted to. Because when it's an RPG, it's usually all up to the players to kind of create the story. But when you're dealing with a franchise, you kind of have to have some through line and hit your beat.
Yeah.
And there was a number of times where we didn't do that. And so I felt like Chloe had such a tragic end, and she just completely got ignored in the finale. Like her dad, who she thought was dead, was the big bad.
That's a Star Wars reveal. You had that moment. You had this big moment. Like, it needed more.
I had no idea that was what the big bad was, my dad. So those feelings, and when I'm sitting in that chair, like that reveal and that reaction as me,
was real.
See me start figuring it out. It's all very genuine because my heart broke for my character. Like that was genuinely so sad. On my like own personal journey, Chloe, I had asked if like she could be queer. And that was nothing we really explored in the show, but it was something that I got to role play and do myself as I was discovering that part of myself publicly. And 5 years later, I'm like very out and open about it. But it's like this character is very special to me in my journey. And I've gotten a lot of comments and DMs, messages from people in the community that have shared a similar sentiment. So it's cool to like let this character shine a little bit. And I'm so grateful for Boom and Melissa letting her have a moment to, kind of throw her toys and be a little baddie.
I feel like the subtitle for this episode is Chloe gets her moment.
Right?
Honestly.
Thank you, Melissa. Also, that was my dog that she's watching my.
Oh, we met
We
Chewy.
talked about it. Yeah.
We met Chewy earlier.
My dog's a bit of a jerk, though. Look, he's causing a scene. He wants his own seat.
What's the elevator pitch for Darkest Hour?
Rita Repulsa has a lot of daddy issues, and Rita Repulsa has decided that she is going to be the biggest baddie that has ever baddied and is going to be the one to bring Dark Spectre into our world. And only she can do it because she has been infused since she was a child with this Morphin Grid energy that allows her to create magic that distorts the Morphin Grid. And she has been given the power by Dark Spectre in the form of Mistress Vile and a vessel that will allow her to do this. But in order to do that, she has to get to a master arch and she has to infect the Morphin Grid. And all of this, the Darkest Hour, up until episode 101 to 110 is her enacting that plan to make that happen. And the Rangers essentially just trying to catch up. Really, it's always going to be about the heart and the relationship of the Rangers throughout. But I'm just really excited because we got to bring in more than just Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. But I'm really excited to see the Rangers fighting for their own existence and see some Rangers that we've never seen before too.
Yeah, I feel like also, Melissa, one of your strengths is that you take these characters who are in a fictional world with all these fantastical elements and science fiction and superheroes, and then make them unbelievably relatable. I
appreciate that. That's the best kind of fantasy, right? Where you can put yourself in crazy worlds, but still there's a kernel of human emotion that allows you to be there, even if, there's magic and there's dragons and there's lords and all those different things.
how far in advance did you start like laying all the like the crumbs and the groundwork to lead up to the event? And like, what was the conversation like with your editor, with Allison?
101. Like it was, I mean, she comes for the Zeo Crystal in 101. So like it's always been the plan. How do I honor the series and bring this all around full circle? And so when I pitched it, it was a little smaller in scale than what it ended up being, but it was very much like, let's infect the grid. Let's bring back Rita in a really cool way. Let's have some fun.
What is it about Power Rangers that has made it stick around like so consistently for literally 30 years now?
Oh, it's nostalgia, right? We're like everything we're living in now, all of these remakes, everything. People are searching for that magic in the bottle that we had as kids. Power Rangers for me is just that like safe space. You see yourself in those characters. There's so much diversity on screen.
For me, it's always been the relatability. Like most people remember Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, but there's 30 seasons. There's 30 seasons of Power Rangers where those teams are changed out. Mm-hmm. And that means that anybody could be a Power Ranger, you know, in the 2017 movie, we had a Power Ranger that was on the spectrum. We have had Power Rangers since then that are on the LGBT, you know, they're LGBT. We've really, you know, from the first season of Power Rangers, there was a diversity, a push for diversity when at the time there was not that much diversity on screen.
That was for me. That was the coolest thing because I'm half white, half Mexican, and you never saw that type of diversity in like main characters. And I loved that. True. That's something I cling to because I'm like, I want more of this. This is like what my house looks like. These are the people I love. This is something I can connect to.
Yeah. I mean, Power Rangers celebrates the best part of you, right? You take a morpher and all of a sudden you become a superhero, but you don't change who you are intrinsically. Yeah. Right.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And you just take what's the best part of who you are. And that is celebrated being a Power Ranger. And like the best part of that is you're not doing that alone, right? You don't morph alone. You're, you know, the greatest Ranger is always going to be part of a team. And,
oh my gosh.
And I think that is really what resonates for Power Rangers and what makes it different than another team. Because even though like the Avengers are the Avengers, Thor is going to still be Thor. Right. But the Red Ranger is still a part of a team. You're not going to have it's rare that you have a Red Ranger out there by himself. And even then, he's usually going to call for backup.
Melissa, you just say the most profound things all the time.
I know that's like making me get a little bit emotional. That's like genuinely, too. I'm feeling like there's like a knot right here in like my throat a little bit. I'm like, ooh.
I felt that in my heart soul.
We got a ton of fan questions. So we have a segment on the show that we do occasionally called We Got It Covered. And when I say we do it occasionally, I mean this is the second time we've ever done it. And we have some questions from some fans for you. Huge shout out to everybody who wrote into the show, by the way. Thank you so much.
It was like an overwhelming response. So we were so happy and stoked and also overwhelmed with the amount of emails that we got.
Yeah. Fans are great. Cool. And they're so excited and so generous and kind. And
Hyperforce fans are real ones. They're the sweetest little sweeties. Thank you so much for your questions.
Sorry to everybody listening who didn't get their question to be read out on the show. Genuinely, we'd be here for another 2 hours if we had to read through all the questions. So we had to cherry pick. But thank you so much. To start, Owen asks, "Hello, Megan and Melissa. First off, I want to say how excited I am about the upcoming Power Rangers Unlimited Hyperforce one-shot releasing later this year. I know that both of you had involvement with the Hyperforce live show, so having you two come on board to write the Hyperforce comic makes perfect sense. Plus, I'm very pumped to see Federico Sabatini's artwork for the book. So my question is, which character have you had the most fun getting to write for the book?"
In terms of pure chaos and insanity, like getting into Christina V's head and writing Vesper.
You did that so well. Those were your pages.
Yeah, I had so much fun with Vesper. Pure chaos. There are no rules for Vesper. Like she has no social awareness. Like she says whatever pops into her head. And it is usually the worst thing. And I just freaking loved it.
Though. Yeah, I was reading that. I was like, this is Christina. Because it's whatever you think she's going to say. Do the exact opposite.
Yeah. Whatever's appropriate in the situation, that is not what she says. And And it was a blast. And also Jack. Jack was very much the heart of this issue.
Obviously had the most fun writing an angsty, angry Chloe.
Oh, of course.
That was...
Yes.
There was a really sassy comment that I kept in there that Allison pushed back on. I'm never sure if it got to stay.
There was a lot of sassy Chloe in there, so.
Say it.
I hope it got to stay. It was the one towards Marv.
Yeah, I think it's in there.
Yes. She laid into Marv a little bit in a sassy way. But revisiting my character obviously is going to be my favorite.
Next question, Bryn asks, will we finally see Pink Battle Warrior and other features that had never had art in the TTRPG series, like the other Megazord formations? And will the Darkest Hour event effectively be a season 2 story, or will the one-shot comic end the series?
Well, Ranger Command Power Hour has released preview pages of the first few pages of the one shot. And I think that first question will be answered in those preview pages. So check that out. Special shout out to Federico Sabatini, our artist.
Yes.
One thing I really, really wanted to make sure that these one shots played a part in the bigger story for Darkest Hour. We didn't want them to be isolated events. So even though they are their own stories, both of them, both the Coinless and and Hyperforce, they both feed into and will have their stories continued in Darkest Hour. So you will see those characters again in Darkest Hour. They are big parts of that. And Hyperforce, specifically has a very specific part to play in Darkest Hour. Moving
on to the next one. It's from Yuno, and they ask, that's the name of one of the characters from Black Clover. Completely irrelevant to what we're doing here. As a fellow fan of Power Rangers,
Nerd.
As a fellow fan of Power Rangers, I wanted to ask, would this new comic focus on cosmic adventures? And if so, can we see Astronema's appearance here? Or can we expect to see Astronema's?
I feel like Astronema's gotten a lot of love in the main series already. So we don't see Astronema specifically, but there are special guests in this series or in this one shot that I'm excited about. And definitely there are some people that maybe you wouldn't expect popping up.
I'm not good at secrets. I'm just sitting here like, ugh.
So our final question for today comes from Jorge. I was just wondering, what is the process for creating new Rangers for the comics? Example, the Omega Rangers or Draken, Solar Rangers. Are there any restrictions?
Hasbro has to say yes.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
For me, it's always like, this has to be important to the story. Zed was something that, was teased from even before my run. There were elements that we picked that went into making sure we understood why he did what he did and why he decided he had to be a ranger at this point, which is, I have to be as powerful as Mistress Vile because she kicked my butt and almost killed me. And I am so consumed with rage and hatred that I need to kill her. And the only way to do that is to morph and be a Power Ranger. So there's always has to be a reason for it to happen. And they always have to look cool.
Melissa, Megan, thank you so much for joining us today. Genuinely, you've been fantastic. I've had a more phenomenal time myself, and I could sit here for the rest of the day just talking about Power Rangers and Pokemon and anime and just,
yep.
It'd be fun.
Comic-Con.
We'll hang out at Comic-Con. Please tell the people where to find you before we once again just completely lose the plot on this.
Oh, yeah. Everywhere, Strawberry 17, except for Twitch, it's Strawberry 17 Plays. If you want to see me gaming and scooting about, drop by. It's where I usually am. And on Instagram, Strawberry 17.
I'm Misty_Flores on both Twitter and Instagram. And once in a while, TikTok. I don't actually remember what that is because it's not very active. But definitely keep Twitter and Instagram are where to find me.
Well, thank you to everyone listening. And make sure to pick up both Hyperforce on July 19th and the start of Darkest Hour event, which is Mighty Morphin Power Rangers 110. That is July 26th. At your local comic book shop. Oh my gosh, it's so soon. So exciting.
It's gonna be good.
Soon.
Right in the middle. It's right at the end of Comic-Con, isn't it?
Both of them are right in Comic-Con.
Yeah. One's right at the start, one's right at the end.
Woo!
If you're watching this on YouTube, thank you, first of all. And don't forget to catch the full-length episode in podcast form anywhere you get your podcasts. We are now officially on Apple Podcasts. We have figured that one out. So go team.
But if you want to stay update on all the cool things coming down the pipeline at Boom, Obviously, also Boom Direct. Please make sure you follow us on social media, follow our YouTube channel, follow our podcast, follow all the things. We'll tell you all the things. It'll be great.
You can also find all of us at Comic-Con at the Cheesecake Factory, probably every single night. So
yes, as well as the Boom booth, which is booth number 2229.
There we go. Yes.
We'll be there.
We'll be there. That's basically going to be me and Anthony's second home.
Oh, nice. I think are we doing a signing too? I think we'll be there.
Yeah, you sure are. Yeah.
Yeah, because
you're doing our panel with us too.
Stuff. These two people right here.
Yeah.
Come say hi to Melissa and I. We'll be chilling and hanging out.
It'll be so exciting. And remember, comics are for everyone. I'm Harley Salbacka.
I'm Anthony Mauro. And this is
Boom Direct.
Boom Direct. It's boom time, baby.